Good riddance 2023. Both our teams are eliminated from the playoffs. We both need to find a new quarterback. Everything sucks about football, but at least we're doing it together, Tom. I don't know if I could get through this year if I knew that I wasn't doing it with you. Oh, God, what a horrible, horrible weekend.
Oh, baby. We here.
We steer you up cliff.
Nope, we steer you in the right direction, baby. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS, and happy freaking fracking New Year. And Brandon, listen, 2023 is in the past. The future is here. And was also shown last night in Minnesota.
Can we just go to 2025 so I can be mad about my football team more?
You think you'll still be in the same position in 2025?
I've got no reason to believe anything will get better, Tom.
It's fair. It's fair. You're just pushing the boulder up the mountain, and you're like, oh, the calendar changed. Still pushing the boulder up the mountain. Yeah. Eagles are undefeated this year. That's very, very true. Everybody's undefeated this year.
Oh.
That's right. Come on now.
Ha ha ha.
Oh.
Ha 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 ha. Oh. Nobody cares about the Chiefs. They suck too. Chiefs also suck.
Listen, hey, happy 2024. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Yeah. Oh, we have to talk. Oh my God. Yes. Tepper throwing dude. What? It's just like, if you've done any research or like looked in to Tepper 2, it just gets worse and worse.
Oh yeah.
Like legitimately, like, is just no. I'm so sorry, Panthers fans. I'm just so sorry.
They don't deserve it. I did a video. We talked a lot about Tepper's history, and that's it's got to be the most pathetic thing we've ever seen an NFL owner do.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, you kind of hear about like some really shady shit behind closed doors, right? But to see an owner throw a drink on opposing fans, it's the lowest, most childish bullshit I've ever seen a dude do. It's sad. It is pathetic. Like, can you imagine, Tom, owning a football team, being a multi-billionaire, and not being satisfied enough with your life that you're throwing drinks on the people who provide the money for you? And I know they're opposing fans. They were probably talking mad trash to him, like they're supposed to do. But those people are the reason you have your job, you fucking coward. He is a coward, and it makes me sick. Makes me sick.
Really? That true? Is that actually true? That's awesome. Let's go, JJ.
Oh,
yeah, no, dude.
Nice.
Tepper, it's a mess, man. Like, it's just, like you said, because, like, we make fun of, like, Jim Irsay, right? Like, whenever he, like, goes on an unhinged tweet and all that stuff.
Yeah, but he respects his fans. He respects the people.
Oh, absolutely, dude. I mean, to do that, it's just, like, it's thin-skinned and... Yeah, it's a mess, man. But this is kind of like a situation, and again, not comparing the two, but, like, you look at, like, the Dan Snyder situation in Washington and how fans were like, we just don't know what to do, because you get a new GM, you get a new coach, you get a new quarterback, you get new everything. But it is very difficult to get a new owner. And, you know, unless something drastically changes, you ain't going to get one for a while.
Yeah, it's the worst look you could have from the NFL standpoint, one of your owners doing that. Like, there's just visual evidence of a man who owns an entire football team acting like a baby, like a toddler. My 3-year-old daughter is more well-behaved than David Tepper.
And she pooped outside.
Yeah. And she doesn't even know she has a bank account right now.
No, she don't know.
No,
she don't know. But yeah, I'm sorry, Panthers fans. And also, I just want to point this out too. This is the Green Bay Packers, right? Last night held Justin Jefferson under 60 yards. Looked great. Defense was great. Bryce Young, best game of his career. Yesterday against the Jaguars, no points.
None.
Explain the NFL to me. Explain
Nope.
it.
I mean, I think DJ Chark had a couple drops that might have affected that for old Brycey Young, but yeah.
The Texans.
Yeah, no.
I think the Strouds are going. I think for the scriptwriter's sake, I hope the Strouds are going. It's going to be fun, though. I know the primetime games got announced. You got Colts, Texans. Texans finally got a playoff game, primetime game, excuse me. So it's freaking exciting, man. I'm pumped.
Gardner Minshew. CJ Stroud. I don't think he can hang with the Gardner.
Brandon, can I talk about my team?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, Jordan Love, him, more yards and touchdowns in a season in his first year as a starter than any Bears quarterback in Bears history. Let's just put that little piece right there. One win. Thank you. First of all, big shout out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Wave that terrible towel because when they beat the Seattle Seahawks.
No, Tom. No, they bounced me.
The Seattle Seahawks.
Me. You and Tree colluded. Collusion.
Control over their own fate. That's right. Blood demon, baby. I got you. Listen.
Collusion.
Packers beat the pants off the Vikings last night. Oh, shirtless Kirk Cousins was there leading the skull chant. Nay. Get out of here with that garbage. Also, January 1st, 2023, the Green Bay Packers defeat the Minnesota Vikings. December 31st, 2023, the Packers defeat the Minnesota Vikings. Perfect. Boom. Bookend. And on top of that, date with destiny, Chicago Bears, next week, Lambeau Field, win and in. Let's go. I'm pumped, dude. I am pumped. I'm so happy. Because again,
you should be.
Jordan Love has looked amazing. Like, he has looked really, really good. He's cool. The guy.
Good for you.
Yes. And we figured it out. Like, that was what this evaluation year was for. And now there's the potential to go to the postseason. We rocking. The Bears are going to be tough, but we rocking.
Good for you. He's better than Paxton Lynch. Nice. He's cheaper than Russell Wilson. Great. Great. Dude, the Packers look good against the Vikings. I thought they would look good. The decision to roll with Jaron Hall was perplexing to me for
a half.
Yeah, and then they put in Mullins after halftime. It's a little too late. It's just like there's such an unknown, and Minnesota was in a spot where they've got two guys who have played some snaps from this season, some real snaps. And they switched to the least known factor. But Packers, they look good. Aaron Jones, when he's getting over 100 yards, offense really hums. Also, it's like, did the Vikings defense forget how to cover? It was like Packers were just open, right that's a deep, like, they've been good because of their defense, and they're just like, not to Green Bay. We will not cover you.
That's awesome, Devin. That's awesome. Yeah,
nice.
I mean, their defense is banged up right now, but yeah, Jordan Love didn't get sacked last night.
Yeah.
So
there you go. Perfect pass to wide open guy.
Jaden Reed looking good too. I know he got banged up last night, but they just tweeted. I just retweeted it too before the show started. That ribs today are negative X-rays, so that's good. They'll have further tests, but things are negative so far. So come on now. There's a lot to talk about. Let's talk about the Broncos, and then we're going to talk about the Eagles. Yeah. Let's talk about a whole lot of things going on.
Did you see you got a quote tweeted by Big Cat?
I saw that. Yep. I saw that.
He wants the Bears to bounce you guys week
just like the Lions.
18 here, but I was like, dang, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Spend it on you, Rich. Yourself. Go buy yourself something nice, Rich. I appreciate you.
Rich Diane.
So I love that you tweeted this out, or you may have retweeted it. Stidham started for the Broncos yesterday. You won. Mm-hmm. The game was not great. I watched a bunch of it. It was not great.
It's the most boring game.
Yeah, it was boring as hell.
It was.
The stats between Stidham and Wilson, I think this is what you tweeted out, were almost identical against the Chargers. And you're like, cool. So we've learned nothing. We've learned absolutely nothing. We're just
I might even be
around.
dumber now. I might even be I might know less about football after watching that Broncos Chargers game.
Yeah, that's fair.
The Stigs, I mean, they got the Broncos won. You know, the Chargers, they're not good. They are not good at all right now.
No.
They're ineffective. Our defense was solid. The offense was boring. The run game was just, it's the most mildly effective run game you can have. There's one really nice play, one cool play where Stidham steps up through the pocket, throws to little Jordan Humphrey. He breaks like 4 tackles, scores a 54-yard touchdown. It was a very exciting play. It was the only exciting play. And other than that, yeah, I think, to be fair to Stidham, you know, it's his first start with the Broncos. He looked a little unsettled early. The thing that if you thought there might be like an upgrade, you didn't see it. He was off target with a lot of throws early, a little bit behind, that sort of thing. But it's like, give him another week. But at this point, we're an eliminated team playing another eliminated team, so we're going to learn nothing about Jarrett Stidham. We're going to have to draft a quarterback. Russell Wilson will be gone. And I'll say this. I would rather watch the Broncos be mediocre with Russell Wilson, because at least people are interested in your team while that's happening, versus, you know, mediocre with Jarrett Stidham. Nobody gives a shit that you exist. But the funniest thing, Tom, was after the game, Sean Payton had high praise for Jarrett Stidham. And I don't think he had high praise for Russell Wilson once this season.
Not this entire
Every
season.
game was like, yeah, we could be better. Russ could be better. Stidham looked pretty good. My unbiased opinion is Sean Payton. Stidham looked pretty good.
He's the best quarterback I've seen all year.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, you definitely are off Russell Wilson.
Yeah, no, is not a fan of Russell Wilson. I mean, I think that's just what it ultimately comes down to, that there was, right from the beginning, there was like that kind of tension that was there, in which just the way that Sean Payton would like speak about last season and the offseason and all that great stuff. And coming in, like, because Wilson wasn't awful this year. He had a much worse season last year. Like, it just looked, everything looked a lot worse. And it just seemed that unless he was perfect this year, or was like one of the best QBs in the NFL, there was no shot he was keeping that job.
Yeah. No, he had to be like a top 10 dude. Russ hasn't elevated the team the way you should. No. Outside of like, you know, some of that crazy fourth quarter magic. But that's the thing, like the Broncos should have been ahead in so many of those games where Russ gets the fourth quarter comeback win or the game winning drive. Like, they should have been ahead. Cortland Sutton wasn't in the game. Marvin Mims wasn't in the game. So it's really hard to get an honest take on Jarrett Stidham. He was throwing to basically Jerry Jeudy, who was okay. And then, you know, a bunch of guys have been on and off the practice squad for the Broncos in the receiving game, injured guys coming back. So yeah, it was a chore to get through that one, Tom. I have never wanted a game to end so bad.
I get you. It was really,
and we were winning. Like they were winning pretty much the whole game. I was like, just fucking end this thing, please. God,
because there's no stakes. Like, there's not even like an evaluation period, because you're like, okay, cool, Stidham is Stidham. Like, that's it.
And if the Chiefs would have lost, there would have been a little bit exciting. And the Bengals had them.
They did.
Lose 60 Harrison Butker field goals. Cool. Thanks.
More visibility. Like, so every single mistake is going to be amplified, and the mistakes have been more frequent. So throw all that together, and you got a recipe for disaster, my friend. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I saw that. CD going and getting that drug test. Dude, after that night he had, we all saw that one coming.
Dude, the NFL should just have catheters hooked up to all the players all the time so they can test their pee every second of every day. Funny. They're really on that drug testing. I mean, they do not miss, but like making sure the officials are put in the best position to be effective and do their job well every year. Nah.
Yeah, but I think the point is
no, that's 100% the point.
Yes, that's right. It's just he's also not the answer. And like, so when you're looking at the Broncos for next year, like, where do you even begin? And I mean that, like, just like, what do you do? Like, are you going to make a massive trade again, in which you're going to already be strapped for some money because it's going to hurt, when Wilson gets cut?
We're going to be paying 37, 40 million for a quarterback who won't be playing for us next year. It should be dead cap. It'll be whatever. We just got to live with that. So, it's you got to find a Stidham, your next Baker Mayfield, right? He's playing on a $5 million deal this year. Or you just got to hit on the draft. You got to be high on a guy in the draft, and he's got to be your next guy. Maybe a team will trade for Russ. I doubt it. Like, again, we talked about that. The only way a team's going to trade for him is if they don't want him to become a free agent once the Broncos release him. And I just don't foresee that happening.
Contract, no shot. Unless that contract gets...
Yeah, he'd have to agree, like, we're going to rework it. Like, the Broncos are going to pay all of it the next 2 years or whatever.
Exactly.
But
yeah, it sucks. In that massacre of a game in which Lamar Jackson, 5 touchdowns, was flawless, and I know because I went against him in fantasy in the championship too, so I lost. Chubb getting banged up at the end, and now he's probably out for the year. Like,
tore his ACL, I think.
Yeah, tore his ACL. So that just sucks, man.
I don't I don't blame Mike McDaniel for that. You're usually the only guy you're really taking out in those situations is your quarterback. Everybody else is still playing. You know what I mean? Like, maybe your premier edge rusher comes out a little bit, but I think that's more of like a hindsight sort of thing. Like, oh yeah, of course, if he thought Chubb was going to tear his ACL, maybe he takes him out of there. But the Ravens, they look pretty good.
I mean, clinched the number 1 seed in the AFC, absolutely rolled. It was close for like a tiny bit, and then they just rolled them. The defense could not stop the Ravens at all. The Ravens defense was looking really good. And yeah, they just look like the most complete team in football right now. And after what they did to the 49ers last week, the 49ers, it was a little close this week with the Commanders, but they clinched the 1 seed also. The Ravens, right now I'm convinced the Ravens have 2 things that could stop them. One, as was mentioned before, themselves, and another AFC North team. Because whenever the AFC North plays, it doesn't matter records. It doesn't matter how good or bad a team is. It is going to be a disaster.
Yeah.
So, but they get that bye week, and going into Baltimore, any team is going to be difficult.
Yeah. The Dolphins are so injury riddled too. Like, that was a game they weren't healthy heading into that game. Mostert doesn't play. Waddle doesn't play. They've got a couple linemen on IR. Jalen Phillips was already out. They lost Xavier Howard in that game. Tyreek Hill drops a touchdown pass. I think Chase Claypool drops a touchdown pass. Like, they did themselves no favors, and everything went wrong for Miami, and everything is going wrong for Miami at the worst possible time of the season.
Yeah, and that's a perfect segue into this. Now, the Bills, who could get the 2 seed or also get eliminated from the playoffs like Kelsey, like, it's insane, 1. But 2, you have to be kind of concerned about this Bills game. I'd be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, Bills right now, the game was a little bit closer against the Patriots. That game was such a mess, too. The amount of turnovers before there was a completed pass in that game, it was ugly. But the Bills at home...
Yeah. Bills are a dangerous team. They're just a dangerous
Snowflake.
team right now. You've got the Rams as a dangerous team, the Bills. The Browns are dangerous. AFC South.
Dude.
I don't know if the Texans, Jags, or Colts are truly dangerous. I think they're all good enough to get in.
Yeah.
Maybe win a game. I really like the future for the Colts and the Texans. Like, I think their 2 teams will be super high on heading into next season.
Yes.
The Jags feel like I don't know. They're going the wrong way, but they got to win against the Panthers team, though.
Yeah. Dude, Digital. Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping I'm hoping. But then again, the NFL also basically was like, screw you guys. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, NFL's like, no, the Lions confused the officials.
Yep.
The Lions confused them.
That's what
so
happens
can
when
you
you engage in deception and gamemanship. Shut up. Just shut
Dude,
up.
Dan Campbell, like, what's got to be infuriating about that if you are Dan Campbell and the Lions is you talk to the officials before the game. You told them, look, this is what we're going to be doing. We've got a play lined up. This is what we're going to be doing. And they're like, yep, okay. Play happens. Sorry. We thought it was 70. You mean you thought it was a different guy than the guy I told you about earlier? Than the guy who reported, the guy who talked to you, the guy who went over to you, said 68, I'm reporting.
And nope, 70 was all 70. The way over there.
Yeah. I mean, if I were to be fair to the officials, I'd be lying out my ass too right now.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, yeah, it was definitely 70. And actually, Dan Campbell never talked to me before the game. He exposed himself to me. Dan Campbell showed me his penis before the game. So maybe we should look into Dan Campbell.
Wow, just lie. Just like get all the heat and just like, you know what? I think there's a UFO outside.
Yep.
I saw it. It was
I
in the
went
night
to
sky.
shake Dan Campbell's hand, and it was just this plump, soft dick. I wanted to throw the penalty flag on him, but I didn't have it yet. Dan Campbell mouth kissed me before the game, and I was just aghast.
That may be the worst use of plump I have ever heard.
You know that thing is plump too. You know it is plump. It's more plump than long. That is for sure. Dan Campbell held me down and put a diaper on me. It wasn't sexual, but he held me down and put a diaper on me. That's what I would say about the official. Dan Campbell made me wear a diaper. And he forced me to urinate in it. And he made me officiate the entire game in a urine-soaked diaper, Roger. That's Roger Goodell he's talking to. Roger Goodell, he made me do it in a urine-soaked diaper. Oh.
Welcome to GPS, folks. Happy 2024. Hope you're settling into the new year.
We're back.
I mean, objectively, they all had great drafts, but the Texans got a franchise QB, so can't really beat that.
Yeah.
That's what the number one most important thing. Lamar do throw a ball good. Wow. Okay. That was...
Oh, you want me to talk more about the official having to officiate the game in the urine-soaked diaper?
Please no. Please no. Happy New Year.
I don't need notes on when to stop talking about diapers. Thank you.
It is pretty nuts. I don't even know what to say to that. But yeah, let's talk about the Cardinals, who lost to the Commanders. They lost to the Giants, but they defeated the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. Yep.
Put the Cardinals in the playoffs.
Why not? James Conner, dude, like, I love James Conner, so rock and roll, baby. Like, the Cardinals are one of those chippy teams that if they get that roster through the draft, like, and they just enhance it, because they do need a lot of help. They need help on their secondary, on their D-line. They need receiver help. But if they could do that, like, they could be one of those, teams that are just going to fight. Because that's what was happening before Kyler Murray came back, too. Like, they were in those games, right? They got blown out a few times, and they had some bad games, but they were in a lot of them against teams that they had no business being against. So, I'm just saying, Cardinals, future may look pretty bright if you crush it in the draft. Eagles?
Yeah. What are Eagles fans complaining about right now? Is it their defense being bad?
Yeah.
Were those the same Eagles fans telling me I was a fucking moron for saying Jonathan Gannon was a good defensive coordinator? Are those the same people telling me how stupid I was for defending Jonathan Gannon? Where I will expect some apology letters, handwritten, and maybe a little chocolate treat attached to it as well. Here's a apology note and a Hershey kiss. Thank you, Eagles fans. Jonathan Gannon, we don't even need him. He sucks. Cool. Worst looking defense right now. 200 rushing yards given up to the Cardinals.
I imagine like some people
mercy.
woke up and were like, hey, friend or parent or what have you, or significant other, come check out GPS. I watch it. It's about football. It's a new year. And then we listen to Plump.
If I can't convert nerds to sports with diaper talk, what am I doing? What am I even doing?
It's a beautiful stew. It's a great stew. But yeah, talk about the Eagles. And I'm trying to talk Eagles fans down at this point because there's a lot of doom and gloom in Philadelphia. And I get it. And it makes sense.
Yeah,
you just lost to the Cardinals. You lost out on the 1 seed. But I mean this in the nicest way possible. Who cares? And I mean that. Who cares? You guys are in the postseason. Have you seen the NFC? You could get bounced in the wild card. You could also go to the Super Bowl because that's what the NFL is. You got to the dance. My team is scratching and clawing trying to get there. You have it locked up. You're in the postseason. So yeah, it's not great that you don't have home field advantage, but it seems to not matter because the Cardinals just came in and beat you. So now it's just win and see what happens.
I think the Eagles, they could do one thing, and they could not have Matt Patricia around. That might help. That might help, first of all.
That could definitely help, yeah.
I think just him being around a team makes him worse somehow. But the other thing that's kind of funny when you think about it, right, is the Eagles, they sold off Carson Wentz to the Colts and was just like, yeah, here, we'll give you Carson Wentz. And then the Colts this season were like, yeah, here, we'll give you Shaq Leonard. And neither of those guys have worked out to help either team. So they are now even on the dealing a player who is, past his prime, injury prone, whatever you want to call it. Just fleecing? Is that a fleecing? Let's see. Will he go to... I don't know if Russ really got treated that unfairly, guys. I don't think Sean Payton's an easy man to work with. I don't think I would like to work with Sean Payton. But here's my thought on Russell Wilson. If you force your way out of Seattle, okay, that's fine. I was happy for him to do it. I called the Seahawks idiots for letting him go. Okay, that's fine. He had 2 different offensive coordinators there in the last couple of years. All right, he forces his way out. He gets a trade. Okay, and the Broncos have to give up a ton to get Russell Wilson. So Russ knows all that. They give up a ton of comp to get him. And then Russell Wilson, also with the trade, wants a new contract. And the Broncos give him a new contract, a $250 million contract.
Yep.
Now, if you're going to ask for that at this point in your career, you better deliver on it. You just better deliver on the $250 million contract.
Correct.
And he hasn't. He hasn't even come close. Last year, you can call it a wash. Okay. Nathaniel Hackett, not a good head coach. A lot of things go wrong. But Russell Wilson chose the Broncos. He chose to ask for $500 million and to put the Broncos in the position of, we got to pay our quarterback a lot of money, which is all fine. But not once. He hasn't had one game where I'm like, that dude is a $250 million QB. Not a full game. Not a single one. If you had a few of those games in there, maybe like, you know what? Yeah, he was treated unfairly. And it sucks the Broncos asked that. It sucks that they used, benching him as the ultimatum. But I don't feel sorry for Russ, and I don't feel sorry for Sean Payton and the Broncos either. They all made that fucking mess. Now they can lie on it for another damn offseason. And all of us fans who continue to give them our GD money, our money every week, we can be pissed off until they fix this shit. 7 or 8 years of it will start to wear on you, Tom.
Well, I think it's because, and correct me if I'm wrong, because we had this conversation before they made the trade for Russ. It was the same crap every year. It's like, all right, let's try to get a quarterback. Nope, that didn't work out. Let's try to get a quarterback. Oh, but we're not super bad that we can go get an amazing quarterback. We're just bad enough that we're kind of middle of the road, draft Surtain, which works out. But yeah,
those are the guys I feel bad for. It's everybody on the team not named Russell Wilson, and it's everybody not named team owner not named Sean Payton, not named George Payton.
Yes.
Like, Cortland Sutton balled out this year. He made Russ look good. Alex Singleton set the record for most 10 tackle games since 90 something. You got there's so many guys I'm rooting for there. There's so many guys I want to see succeed. And the Broncos fought back into playoff contention. And then their quarterback was not good enough in 3 winnable games to give him any sort of boost, any sort of life. And credit Russ. He handled the whole situation well. He's never thrown anyone under the bus. I talked about all that stuff. And even during this game, he was a good teammate. He was on the sideline. He was clapping. He was high-fiving guys as they came off the field. He was he could have just sat there and been miserable.
Sure.
And I like Russell Wilson. I hope he goes somewhere where he's a good fit and he makes a fan base happy and he gets, whatever. But I don't feel bad for him. Not right now.
Well, I think I think the move is made out of desperation, right? Because as we were talking about, middling seasons, like all this time, whatever. So there's a desperation move, and to make a trade for a big name quarterback is rare, right? And they were at least calling about Aaron Rodgers when that was a potential thing.
Yeah.
So they do that. They put all their eggs into the Russell Wilson basket. They go get the hottest name in free agency when it comes to coaches, because that's 100% true. Nathaniel Hackett was like the top head coach prospect that year. Like, all the names were like, where is he going to go? That Packers offense, back-to-back MVPs for Rodgers, blah, 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 blah. So they went out and attempted to make a major change. It just fell
it didn't work.
Flat on their face. And now, unfortunately, where they are, the Broncos are in a similar position, but now worse, because now they're going to be handcuffed now because of salary cap. And you just got to hope that Sean Payton is the guy, because you're going to be sticking with him for at least another year and see what happens.
I think Sean Payton will be fine. I'm really not worried about him. I know he rubs a lot of people the wrong way. That's okay. He's okay with my head coach being that way. Nobody's ever liked Belichick, right?
Yeah.
Except for us people who really enjoy a curmudgeon. But the weird thing to me is the Broncos, outside of the horrible start to the season, and even within that horrible start, it was really that Dolphins game that really made people go, this team is horrible.
Bad.
There's a couple winnable games in there they blow. But Sean Payton has done a much better job than Nathaniel Hackett. The team overall is more well coached. Vance Joseph has even worked out. Okay. The defense has been fine. Russ played better with Sean Payton. But as soon as Russ got benched, it's like people got to pick a side. And it's like Sean Payton made the team better, but he somehow made Russ worse for the Russ defenders. No, that's not fair. He made the whole team better. Russ played somewhat better, but the results were not that much different. A couple extra wins in games, which is nice, but not at a single point where we are winning football games because of Russell Wilson specifically.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because that's how a lot of fans connect with their team is through the players, right?
Sure.
And I think it was actually Will Keys, I think, tweeted this out. It might have been last week or something, when he was talking about they were the same people who were clowning on Russ and making fun of him all season are now oh, poor Russ.
Yeah.
And it's just it is very interesting to see psychologically oh, okay, now it's because it's when he feels like he's been done wrong by an organization, by a billionaire, by something that's bigger than him. It's whoa, well, hold on now. We're making fun of him, but you still don't do that to the guy. You know what I mean?
Nick. We're questioning his integrity as a human being on a day-to-day basis, but
come on now.
Asking him to defer his guaranteed to a different date. Oh no.
Nay.
Go Chargers, go.
That's what bothers me. I just want I want the honest, the fair evaluation. It's not the narrative. Don't use it to support what your narrative is. Just look at it objectively.
Only if the Packers lose. Packers, if they lose to the Bears, there's still some like back way that they can get into the postseason. Packers win, they're in though. It don't matter.
Yeah.
Packers win, they in. They better. They freaking better. Ravens looking like the best team in the league, and it ain't even close. My question to you is now, because this is now the hot, sexy debate, especially after yesterday's game. Lamar MVP now?
Yeah, I think he's the front runner. I think he's the front runner.
So,
yeah, no, and yeah, God's butt monkey. I get it.
Yep.
There's a lot of teams who have a lot of longer droughts than the Broncos are currently in. Chargers, yes. Browns were there. Lions were there. I understand, but I have to talk about this every day, so it's gonna seem even worse.
Hearn, I got a fitty.
Oh, Nick. Wear that diaper, Nick. Wear that diaper. Happy New Year. Wear a diaper. Where is that diaper?
Do you want me to find the diaper?
Wear a diaper.
Rah, 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 rah.
Wear a diaper.
Rah, rah. I spared you guys. I cut it short for you guys.
I was going to check my email.
Sorry, Tom. I cut it short for you guys.
It's all right.
Don't say I never did anything. I didn't do anything for you. Yeah, Lamar, and that,
Lamar and
CMC. Specifically for Lamar, 5 passing touchdowns. He looked so quarterbacky, didn't he, Tom? Didn't Lamar look quarterbacky?
Looked like a quarterback.
I like my quarterbacks to be quarterbacky, and Lamar is the most quarterbacky quarterback I have seen this week.
Legitimate. I think that's the worst. I taught high school. That is the worst use of plump I think I've ever heard.
No, that's a perfect use of plump.
I don't think
I mean, I actually stole it from I gave Sean Payton the nickname Plump Pepper Payton based on that coaching photo he had earlier this year. So the alliteration was nice and ripe there, if you will. But Dan Campbell, definitely plump. Definitely plump.
Yeah, the Chiefs, so they clinched the division, was that 8 straight years now?
I will be working moist into the conversation in about 10 minutes, guys.
It's been overused. It's been overused. Come on, you could do better than that, Perna. Come on now. Yeah, Chiefs win it for the 8th straight time. Close game against the Bengals. And they're another team, too. Like, Rashee Rice is looking great. And I've been saying that, like, he's been that bright spot of the offense. Because Travis Kelce just, I mean, dude, like, how many catches do you have in the first half? I think it was 0. Yeah, the Chiefs are not looking like their usual self, but the division they're in is so bad that they're going to continue.
You're welcome, Kansas City.
I mean, so, like, there's that, too, because I don't think you could even say this. Like, it's the Chiefs division until Reed Mahomes are gone, because the Broncos had chances. The Raiders had chances, right? The Chargers of Justin Herbert, I mean, probably doesn't have chances, but, like, the division is just so defunct, and I'm not trying to take away from the Chiefs, but at the same time, it is also like a Tom Brady-esque with the AFC East, and that the rest of the division can never get their crap together. The Broncos even beat the Chiefs, and so did the Raiders.
It was a winnable year for the Raiders or the Broncos, but you know, it is like that. It is like that. This was the year for somebody else to win it, and Raiders are starting to, they're, you know, a backup quarterback. Jimmy G was their QB to start the season. Now he's on the sideline. Chargers lost Herbert. Don't even think it matters. Even if he was playing, the Chargers aren't any better. Fired their coach. Raiders fired their coach. Broncos benched their quarterback. Like, it worked out perfectly for the Chiefs to sneak into the playoffs. And what the Chiefs did well against the Bengals is just lean on Isaiah Pacheco. And you never, ever think about the Chiefs offense needing to lean on their run game to get through games and win. But heading into the playoffs, they've got a very good defense. They've had a good defense all year. I don't care what Jamar Chase says about their defense. It's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And now if they can run the ball effectively, they can control the clock. They don't need a lot from Mahomes, which is fine because he's got nobody to throw to except for Rice. I think Travis Kelce is just one. I think the injury, whatever he sustained, I think it's just lingered all year. And I think teams are just doubling him. They're like, we'll just take him out of the game, force Kansas City to beat us with other guys in the receiving game. And MVS had another drop in that one. So it's like, they got Pacheco, and I think that could be their guy through the postseason if they're going to make a run.
It's fair.
Oh, the dumbest Super Bowl scenario?
Saints Colts. Saints find a way to get into the win the division.
God.
Saints Colts. There you go. There you go. That's then you're cooking with something. Not anything good.
No, if Minshew's the quarterback, though, that'd be
pretty awesome.
I will be at attention for the Colts, okay?
All right, Kayvon, we'll see. We'll see, baby. We will see.
Shane Steichen still just doing a hell of a job, Hell of a job, those Colts.
Yeah, dude, shout out to the Colts. And, the Colts and Texans, too. Playing on primetime Saturday night, see who's going to the playoffs. That's an awesome story, especially from, last year. You're targeting who's get the first pick. That's pretty damn cool.
Buccaneers, Colts, that would be kind of a nightmare Super Bowl.
God, Buccaneers yesterday, dude. Ugh. We've been singing their praises. Baker Mayfield playing well. And they tried to claw back into that game, but...
I give you a scenario that would be bad.
It was ugly.
49ers, Steelers. Steelers with Mason Rudolph, but 49ers lose Brock Purdy again in the championship game. And we got the Sam Darnold-led 49ers versus the Mason Rudolph-led Steelers.
See, this has come up a lot. Browns-Lions. People want to see Browns-Lions.
Yeah, I would love a Browns-Lions Super Bowl. With Joe Flacco, too, there. Oh, my God. Joe Flacco, I feel like the Lions would be at a disadvantage, Joe Flacco, in the Super Bowl. That secondary, Joe's just going deep all day long.
Why not? It's fun. Legitimately, dude, I don't think I've been this excited for the postseason. I don't even know my team is in in a while, because just you just can't predict it, man. The Ravens are looking like the best team. 2 weeks ago, the 49ers were looking like the best team, and the Ravens came in and were like, how you doing?
Yeah.
And they went toe-to-toe with the Rams. The Rams almost beat them. So it's legit. Week to week, anybody can beat anybody, and the postseason is going to highlight all of that, and I can't wait.
Injuries are always an equalizer, and the Ravens have stayed healthy this year. And they've stayed healthy, but they lost Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely stepped up, right? They lost Dobbins and Keaton, Michael Keaton, Mitchell. And they've just gotten it done with the other guys coming in. So the Ravens battle tested. They're good on defense. They're good on offense. They are the most balanced team right now. The 49ers are still pretty balanced. And even the Chase Young acquisition for the 49ers looks good still. Oh yeah, Steve. That's my man. That's my guy, Steve.
Let's go. Yeah. Other games I really want to talk about. Chicago looked real. Justin Fields, that one play where he legit just shakes off, legit 2 sacks.
Yeah.
They're on him. They wrapped him up and everything. He's just like, no, thank you. It was impressive. Their defense has been playing really well. They are going to be a challenge. You cannot overlook them for the Packers. They are going to be a challenge, I think, next week. And the Bears have a lot to be excited about because they have the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, it's solidified.
They get to do whatever the hell they want with it. Again, if I'm them, I trade down to number 2. I sell it for a bounty, and then you go draft whoever the heck you want. You get a Marvin Harrison Jr., you fix the O-line, et cetera, et cetera. So that's going to be interesting. The Browns could, theoretically, the 49ers could. Ravens probably will. I imagine Ravens are going to rest them because they don't want to.
Yeah, I mean, they should.
That'd be interesting.
Oh, Bills Cowboys Super Bowl would be fun.
That would be interesting. And yeah, Bills, they could. I think for the Bears, though, the question is now, do you keep Justin Fields? I think you're going to. Unless he, craps the bed completely against the Packers. I think they're gonna.
Yeah, I think, if you're bringing Eberflus back, you like what Fields has done. The Bears are winning because they're running the ball really well. Khalil Herbert's had 100+ yards in the last 2 games. I think that's a big part of their offense. And we see the difference a guy like DJ Moore makes for Justin Fields. So I think you got a few solid years with Fields. Just you can really build you can build an incredible team around him with your draft capital right now. And if you sell off that first round pick and you got multiple firsts next year,
that's what I'm saying.
Like you can keep parlaying that down the road if you need to have multiple firsts to trade up to get your next guy. And I think one thing the Bears probably learned from this last draft is you still got to make sure you get the right QB. And there's some good ones heading into the next draft, but Bryce Young was pretty much the number 1 guy. Everybody thought he was the number 1 guy. Again, he needs his DJ Moore, which is, he left to go to Chicago, part of the trade there. But CJ Stroud, hands down, anybody redrafts last year, CJ Stroud's going number 1. So the Bears, it's not a slam dunk that they even would know is Caleb Williams the dude? Is Drake May the dude? Is Jaden Daniels going to be the best of the bunch? Michael Penix. But
I don't know who's moving goalposts against the Ravens. I mean, they've been my number 1 team since they beat the 49ers. Yeah. I mean, what else can they do?
Everybody need that. Like the Ravens don't get talked about enough. I'll give you guys that.
Oh, they don't. Yeah. No, I did not.
But part of the reason is the last 2 years, the Ravens lose Lamar Jackson late in the season. So they become kind of irrelevant, even though they had solid football teams the last 2 years. This year, early in the season, when did they lose? Let me tell you.
I think for the Ravens, it's just they needed to beat a team like the 49ers to be taken seriously. And I think one of the reasons being is because the AFC North is such a crap show that it's like, oh, all right, though, like they are the best of the bunch, but could also still be beaten by a team like the Browns. But I say that about it. The Steelers could beat them. And I'm not saying that any knock against the Ravens. That's just the AFC North. Like, they will just beat the crap out of each other. Dude, my God. I would love to see Joe Flacco against the Ravens. I want to see it. I want to see Stafford potentially against the Lions. I want those.
We got some great possible matchups. Ravens Browns will be amazing.
Perna, we should probably do that read, shouldn't we?
Underdog Fantasy!
Nailed it. Crushed it. I think that's it, right? That's all I wanted.
Dan Campbell made me wear a diaper while doing Underdog Fantasy. My pea-soaked diaper. I made all of my Underdog picks in my diaper. Okay, so usually there's a Monday Night Football game. There's not one right now, so I don't have NFL pick'ems available. Usually those are going to come out in the middle of the week here.
Iowa.
But maybe, let's see. Let's find a little draft for me to enter in.
Did you win yesterday?
No. I don't think I made one. I don't think I made one yesterday.
I did, and I hit on everything except Justin Jefferson. Ironically enough.
Let's see here. Double doink, triple doink. $5 little draft here. Enter that. Bam. All right. So Underdog Fantasy, you can play fantasy football. It gets really fun in the playoffs because the teams kind of get narrowed down. So you can do your fantasy drafts, weekly drafts, $5 entries. You can do multiple. And Tom and I did a big giveaway during our Saturday night stream. Gave away $3,000 in Underdog credit. So, maybe we'll talk to Underdog and see if we can do that for one of the playoff games coming up. So you got to use our code GPS, sign up with our link in the description. If you like fantasy, if you like pick'em games, you're just picking stat totals or fantasy point totals using multiple players to stack your higher or lower, guessing higher or lower on those totals. you've been following here, you know I've been horrible at those all year. I've won one pick'em all year long. Appreciate everybody who says I played in my first pick'em and won, Perna. Why are you so stupid? Love hearing that. Love hearing that.
Kel bought coffee.
I like coffee.
Yeah.
And we gave away Jared Goff special, too. But you had to sign up before that game to get it. So pay attention to Tom and I. What the hell? There we go. I didn't click that. Did you click that?
Yep.
Oh.
Wear a diaper.
Bam. Link in the description. The QR code works. Code GPS will match your first deposit up to $100. Who will be our first person to sign up in the new year? That's the real question. You don't win anything. I just want to know.
Yeah, I know. This feels weird. There's no football until Saturday. And I was stupid. I said, oh man, I'm not streaming for a week. I forgot there's 2 games on Saturday. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I'll be streaming on primetime for Saturday night. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm sorry about the Broncos. I am. I want to say what I'm more sorry for, and this is how you know the NFL isn't scripted. Mason Crosby, former Green Bay Packers kicker, had an opportunity to defeat the Rams, and he didn't do it.
And the Rams just released him. The Rams had him. They let him go.
Yeah. Yep. Had a chance.
He had a revenge kick. Jess brought up a really, I think just a good point last night because she was asking me about the Broncos. I was like, no, they've been eliminated from the playoffs. She's like, but they won. I was like, yeah, they still got eliminated. And she's like, so they don't have to play next week, right? I was like, no, they still got to play. She's like, why? She's like, they're playing in a meaningless game. I was like, yeah. I was like, the Raiders have nothing to play for too. She goes, that's so stupid. Yeah. She's like, so they got to go out there and play even though it doesn't matter. I was like, yeah, the draft positioning could matter. She's like, that's ridiculous. I was like, yeah, I think, you know what? Actually, I think you're right.
It's just when you're done, you just forfeit the rest of the games. You're done now. You're done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So if you're eliminated week 10, it's like, guys, get started. Happy New Year. Take care. You have a great Christmas, Thanksgiving. Why not?
Yeah. Broncos are sitting at the 14th overall pick. The Raiders have 11. I don't think the Broncos will be playing for draft position, to answer your question. I think they're a team that wants to win. I think Sean Payton definitely wants to win with Stidham. The guys want to win. It doesn't really matter either. You're picking in the top 20. I think you're all right. It's only going to matter if they want a quarterback, and I think they'll probably have to. They might have to move up to get the QB they want anyway. But people keep saying like Jaden Daniels to the Broncos, like he ain't going to be available by 14. So
no.
Yeah,
you have to make a massive So that's the thing too. Do you give up draft capital?
Yeah.
Do you go for a big swing?
We just got it back.
I know. For the next 3 years, you just go, screw it. Here's our first round picks.
We're not moving up that far.
Would you hate it?
We're not moving up that far.
Would you hate it?
It depends on who we get.
Not yet. I really want to, but I got no time, bro. I got no time. I'm streaming. I ain't got no time.
That's my iron claw.
Yeah, the Broncos, it's sad times. There's a lot of, because every single, it's been locked in except for the final, I think, spot for the NFC, which could go to the Packers, could go to a number of teams still. But, dude, I'm freaking excited. Next week's going to be fun. You know, hopefully we beat the Bears. It's going to be a tough game, but playoffs are almost here, Perna. Playoffs will make you feel good. Playoffs are fun.
I doubt it. The teams I want to make it are the Lions, the Bills, or the Browns. Historically speaking, those fucking franchises are working against me, Tom.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that is fair. That is fair.
Bills, Lions, Browns. Lions, Bills, Browns. What if Flacco gets hurt in the playoffs? That would be tragic.
Why would you even say that, Perna?
Because I'm thinking about the worst case scenarios. That's why.
Would you even say that?
Because he's a 38-year-old man playing
He's 39. He's turning 40 this month.
Is he turning 40 this month?
Yes. I did a whole video. He right now.
Wow.
Oh nope, I'm so wrong. I'm so young, and I yelled at you. I'm so sorry. He's 38 years old. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. You're so 100% correct. I really thought I was really convinced in my conviction there. You are 100% correct. I am so wrong. You are correct, Perna. You're right about
Doesn't
everything.
happen often, but when it does,
You're right about everything except Russell Wilson. That one, not so much.
I was very wrong about it.
Yeah,
I have no problem saying I'm wrong.
just takes a little while to get there.
People like to do that. They like to pretend. Not pretend. They like to act like forcing me to admit I'm wrong about a sports comment or take
Dude,
is
the
like
Rams?
a sin.
The Rams.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I got it wrong. I've got to make a guess about something. Sometimes I'm going to be wrong.
The Rams fans yesterday were like, "Oh, you were wrong." I was like, "Dude, I was so wrong on the Rams. I was so wrong." The best case of that ever was me saying that Washington back in 2020, when they were the Washington football team, that they were not going to have a winning season, and they likely, I think I said they weren't going to have a winning season. They were going to be like one of the worst teams in the NFL. And Washington used that sound clip in their promo vid to make the postseason when they had a losing record. And I was like, I wasn't wrong. I technically wasn't wrong. They just made it because the East was so bad.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to be
bad.
wrong a lot, guys. I'm going to be wrong a lot.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But, Perna, what do you got coming out today, buddy?
We'll have winners and losers up today.
There you go.
I will not curse Flacco. I do hope, if I could wish one thing for Joe Flacco, it's that the Ravens Jacoby Myers him to bounce him from the playoffs.
I don't watch college football, so I don't care. The draft is the only reason I care.
If the Ravens and Browns are playing and it's going back and forth, and the Raven and the Browns, they're in a position to win, and they just got to protect the deep ball, but they don't to Lamar Jackson, and he hits Isaiah Likely to get into the end zone, that would make me pretty happy.
There you go.
But yeah, winners and losers coming up today.
Awesome. All right.
What do you got, Mr. Tom Grossi?
I already recorded every NFL fan's reaction to 2024. Jesus Christ. To week 17. I just realized I may have forgotten a team or two, so I need to go and recheck that. But yeah, I just got to edit that, so that'll be out within the hour. And then if the NFL was scripted, week 17 also gonna be dropping later today, probably around 5 p.m., 6 p.m. And then, power rankings tomorrow. We'll have the North Saga this week. It's gonna be a time. Be a time. Hey, Riley, let's go. Let's go.
Happy birthday.
So glad you had a good birthday. Oh, yeah, the XFL USFL merger. They have a new name now.
UFL.
The UFL.
Both organizations were like, we cannot use our current name because that just means you are superior.
You would win.
XFL was the one. It's the cooler name. Should have just been the XFL still. UFL, fine, whatever. I'll be excited for it once it starts March 30th or whatever.
Exactly. But folks, we appreciate the heck out of you. Thank you for watching. A very happy new year to all y'all.
Should have just been called Plump. Welcome
to
to Plump Football.
I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This
Campbell,
is
president.
GP.
The P stands for Plump.
And you have been
Plumped.
navigated. I don't know where.
You've reached your
where.
plump.
Plump.
Plumpy plump.
Never gonna be able to eat
plump,
plum again.
Plumpy plump.